Hey, what's up everybody? Tony Rvitia, Rvitia RV Rentals, going over a little summer. Let me teach you how to handle when stuff in the RV gets broken and or clients call and complain, because obviously the RV rental business is awesome. I just read yesterday that Cruise America's booked out for the next 3 months to even get a reservation. And then one of the other big companies just went out of business. So this whole COVID thing has tons of action, and then the RV rental business is just kicking off. Now, the easiest thing to do with the RVs is get them rented on RV Share and Outdoorsy. What you need to do is focus on cutting your costs and making sure stuff doesn't break, or having a way to fix it when it's broken. So of course I'm the least handy Mexican ever. I can't even hang a towel bar up, so I have to unfortunately pay everybody for almost anything. But we had an interesting situation with the last renter. He drove the RV, the big one, the Class A, out to the middle of nowhere, and then somehow got a mouse in it. So then we had to try to figure out how to get this mouse out. And then he broke off the key into the the outdoor bins here. So we had got this bin that he had to break off. I don't even know why he locked that particular one, but so he had to end up breaking like 3 of the locks. So, and then we had of course turn around the rental for the next day. I had to go to my RV dealership, and of course they can't get the part for like 2 weeks because it's a special one or something. And so now I have no lock thing on the outside for the hoses and whatnot, so I'm sure that'll be fine. So the other renter's taking it today. And then they had problems with the Wi-Fi hotspot. And then this is just something to go over with clients, because sometimes they're going to call you and tell you, oh, this doesn't work or that doesn't work. And the guy told me, he's like, the wireless internet didn't work. And I was like, oh shit, because I want their trip to go awesome. I don't want it to have any hitches. I want it to be perfect. I rent out Marriott condos as my main business, so I want to be everything like Marriott, like top notch, and have it. But it is very difficult. I gotta say, people always have something to complain about, no matter how much stuff you have in there or whatever. And then especially what I found is if they break something, then they try to find fault with everything, so you don't charge them for it, because they think everything costs a fortune, which it kind of does. I mean, these locks were like 40 bucks a piece, but they're not that hard to put in, so my regular handyman dude can do it. And then they like ruined 2 of the hoses, and then they had to buy hoses outside. And then they said they called roadside assistance, but it wouldn't help them with the lock. Well, they would have helped them with the lock. They just had to pay for it, because that's their responsibility if they break it. So what I decided to do is put an extra set of keys somewhere on the RV, because this is the second time we've had an issue where somebody broke a key or lost the key or whatever. And I had thought about it. I had made extra keys, but we had never put them on there. It was such a pain in the butt to get keys made for an RV. You had to get like a special locksmith. I had the guy come here. You couldn't get it at Lowe's because that's RV keys or something, and it ended up costing like $250. Well, that was for like 5 sets of keys, but anyways, it was like probably $30, $40, $50 a set for keys. So what I came up with, and then there's always little issues. Like on this one, the hot water heater fuse always blows, because they always plug in too much stuff, and then they blow the breaker, and then the breaker blows like the hot water fuse or whatever. So my guy, he got me these special, they're like super fuses or something. And so we're about to try those and see how that works. I'll let you know how that goes, because that sounds way better. Because one of the biggest problems we always get is the hot water heater thing blows, and it's always because they plug too much stuff in and blow the breaker with the generator on, or these people, they think it's a house, so they can just plug in whatever they want, and it is not. So I would probably do the same thing, because I've never used one myself. So I always warn them, do not plug in too much stuff. In my paperwork, I have one whole page of generator do's and don'ts that we found online, and I make them initial each line. And since we've done that, we've had way less issues with the generator, because that first summer we rented these things out, every single person had a problem with the generator, because if you try to start it and stop it multiple times, then it just doesn't work. If it's way too hot, you have to turn it off every once in a while for like an hour to let it cool down. There's just a bunch of little tricks with the generator, so you got to make sure that everything's in the paperwork, or I make them sign everything. My paperwork's not so much paperwork, it's almost like a training. So I make them go through all the things, and then I have separate papers where I put, these are the most common things that happen. The hot water heater fuse blows. Okay, the fuses are in the bottom right, take it out. you blow the breaker in there. So the trick with the breaker I found on this one, I don't know if it's on all of them, is if you try to flip the breaker back on, it doesn't do anything. But if you turn the generator on, then flip the breaker, well, then it works perfectly and does it super easy. And that could have saved me a lot of time and hassle. And then I hate dealing with the calls of the people. They call like all hours of the night, 9, 10 o'clock at night. They expect instantaneous answering. So I started using this thing called Reception HQ. It's kind of like, I don't know, just like that Ruby answer your phone service. They answer your phone calls 24/7, and then they send you a text or an email what the people want. Or they have like My Assistant, they have a little bit higher level, and that's the one I just upgraded to. And then I can make different frequently asked questions and then put it in the system. And then when people ask those questions, they can divert them to that. And then one thing I did with my wheel-based account is every rental I get, even if it's through the other one, I buy them a roadside assistance policy. Now, obviously it costs like 12 bucks a night, but it's way worth not having the headache. So if anything breaks on it or whatever, I have them call that 24/7 technical assistance that you get through CoachNet. So that has been a huge lifesaver. Saved us a ton of calls, and just made life a lot easier. I don't really have to worry about anything too technical because those people are used to dealing with brand new RV people, and then I don't have to worry about it. And my guy who drops it off, he speaks English, but he also speaks Spanish. And I think sometimes if he doesn't want to say stuff, he just pretends he can't speak English. But anyways, so, trying to find good help to, right now we only have 2 of them, so it's only bringing in like 80 grand a year. So to have a full-time guy is just not, and not something we want to do at this point. Now I'm going to buy 4 or 5 more, possibly more, bring on more consignment clients. I know I'm just going to buy 5 or 6 more myself and just rent those out. I don't know if I want to have to deal with consignment clients right yet. And then we're going to set it up to do, like a license model or franchise model with the instructions. Because if you had the instructions, or if you had help right off the bat when you got started with this, you could be profitable from day one. And it makes it a lot easier than consigning, is to just own them all yourself. So you don't have to worry about anybody and reports and getting all that to people and knowing if you have to charge them for this or that, or any of that stuff. So it just makes it a lot easier if you can own your own RVs, which if you could find a way from your bank to get like 100 grand, you could go buy 2, 3, 4 used ones from people off Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or whatever. So the business is good. I just wanted to go over, see if I could help you with any of those things. Definitely, if you have common problems that happen all the time or stuff, definitely make a whole sheet and then put it. And then we also send them a video ahead of time of the walkthrough of the whole vehicle. Like this one, I found a video on YouTube of somebody doing it, so I just send them that one. And then I send them a YouTube video of how to drive the RV, so they already know that. And then, so yeah, when you get a lot of complaints, I would buy an extra policy for the technical assistance through CoachNet. I would charge a cleaning fee, definitely, because I don't think, even if people say they'll clean it, I don't trust that they do a good job anyways. And I want to make sure everything's laundered properly, because of your guests. And then the COVID thing, you want to make sure everything's disinfected properly and everything's wiped down. And I doubt people at the end of a week-long trip, I know I wouldn't want to go clean an RV for 4 hours. So I just charge them a cleaning fee of a couple $100, because you find a good maid, they're going to charge you $80 to $200 to clean it. So definitely charge a cleaning fee. Definitely, if you have any most common problems, put that on a sheet of paper. Let them know in the paperwork how to resolve that on their own. That cuts down calls. You can use a service like I did, that Reception HQ, where they answer it and accepts text message 24 hours a day. And then you can give them a thing, frequently asked questions people get, and you could have them answer it for, I think their service is like $80 to $200 a month, depending upon which package you pick. Or actually, I think it starts at $40 to $200. So you could even just have them answer the phone 24 hours and then just send you a text message or an email, and then you can text them back. And then I also use a phone service. It's an internet phone service called Grasshopper. And then there's one called Ring Central as well. Those are great virtual phone systems where you can get an 800 number that accepts text, a local number. It has an auto attendant too, so you can be like, press 1 for sales, press 2 for support. You can have, it has an auto attendant for like, and it's like $40 to $80 a month, $40 to $100 a month for that phone service as well. So depending upon how much you want to blow up your business or what you want to do. I just wanted to come with some helpful hints on things I've learned, some experiences. This guy, you know, I never had somebody drive it out the middle of nowhere, break all the locks and add a mouse, and then and then I think he was calling me. He kept calling me wanting to talk to me directly. And then he was upset when we showed up that we didn't have an extra set of keys. My manager was like, well, if you would have told us you broke it, we could have brought an extra set of keys. We don't just know to bring extra keys, you know? And so, and I think he was he had a really like horrible story about his son had passed away, and it was horrible. But I don't know if he was like, sometimes people try to use things to try to get stuff for free. And my point was, you can't really give things for free because everything's so expensive on these things, and the profit margins are so trim. If you pay for every time somebody breaks something on here, you're gonna cut into your profits like 20-30% because people break stuff all the time. And if you want everything nice and brand new like I do, where it looks nice and clean, and you know, if something's worn out, you know, just to replace it or break it, or the air conditioner breaks, all that stuff adds up to be a ton of money. And so having the renters break stuff and not pay for it. And then remember to always add the 20%, because RV Share and Outdoorsy take the 20-25%. Always add that to the cost as well. So when you're charging people for something, if it costs you 15, remember you got to charge 20 to make sure you're recouping all that money that RV Share takes as well. But all right, hope you're having a great rental season, and let me know if you have any questions or comments below, or anything you want me to go over. All right, thanks. Have a great day.